Greetings, the Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past randomizer friends, and welcome. This is a match between Oro of Team Zelda and Chill versus Kaesden of JKLOL. And with that, I believe we're off. So this is a swordless match that is the conference semifinals. The winner of this series will go on and get an invitational league. Kazen is up on Oro. Well, Kazen's team is up on Oro's team 2-1 right now, and Oro is hoping to stave them off and get to a game 5. This is a swordless mode, so we're going to be finding a lot of things that'll let us beat Ganon, but we will not be finding a sword today. I'm Danny Music, and I am joined by John Snoo. John Snoo, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good, but it looks like we're already hot on our heels as Oro gave us a map check with 2 crystals, and it looked to be a pendant Desert Palace. Oh no, I was wrong. 5-6 on Desert Palace, actually.
Get our pendant crystal knowledge early. So we also have a lot of early money with those 300 rupees.
And an early bush crab giving us bombs here, which is going to be nice and credible for us doing the cack dip here soon. And Oro also getting the dip as well.
Yep, without a sword being available, having those early weapons is extremely helpful, so knowing a renewable source of bombs will definitely set these runners on their way for whatever challenges there are incoming.
Kazen giving us an early scout look at the Lumberjack Ledge, finding out that it's just a piece of love, and we're going to make our way to cack on his end. Meanwhile, Oro's going to be beating him to it just slightly ahead.
And of note, talking about hype between these two racers, this is actually a rematch. Kazen and Oro were the Game 3 opponents in the Power Series, and Oro was able to defeat Kaesden in Kaesden's mode of Invrosia. So Swordless is Oro's mode of choice, and Kaesden is hoping to return the favor.
Kazen looking to close the series out, while Oro is looking to keep his team alive in this best-of-5 series here. If Oro and his team wins this one out, we're going to be seeing a co-op red treads between the 2 remaining members of each team. Meanwhile, we got a Fire Rod in Blind Hut.
And Kazen is making his way to Kakariko as well.
Yep.
So Fire Rod is important. It's another weapon that you can use to kill enemies early game, most notably in Mini Moldorm Cave, which is something that you want to check sooner rather than later. It also means that keeping magic high is a bit more of a priority than it might have otherwise been.
While here, Oro is in the well, getting us a nice red rang, and oh, there's our Moon Pearl, and some more bombs. So we are still 2 items away from entering Dark World and not being a bunny. Still looking for our hammer, which is going to be our main weapon source. Since and the flute on Bottle Merchant as I'm speaking.
That is an extremely convenient place to find the flute. Doesn't really get much better than that.
It's the closest and most convenient activation point that I can think of. And now we're going to be seeing here in the chicken coop now. Follow up on the flute. On Kazen's end, as we get another activation. Get your salutes in the chat while we're getting a full piece of love on Oro's side. And we're also going to be just a usual cack check here. Going to get the back of the brew. Free the cuckoo. And just a piece of love.
Yep. So that flute offers a lot of opportunities for route divergence. Suddenly, Ice Rod Cave and Agina's Cave, which are normally very out-of-the-way checks, they become a lot closer because you can warp nearby. We also obviously still have the South Shore and Mini Moldorm Cave checks, which the runners will probably want to do sooner than later. And you can even make an early mountain play. Mountain is in logic with the flute, despite the runners not having the lamp currently.
Without the lamp, that really just means that Old Man being saved is the only thing that would be done out of logic. We have the top of Spec Rock that can be scouted, and the inside of Spec Rock that can be grabbed.
Mm-hmm. So Oro stops at Link's house very briefly just to check that first chest. And now looks like we're doing the Dam and Mini Moldorm Cave, which is most people's usual play after Kakariko.
Just some rupees in the dam chest here. And now it looks like we're going to be going back inside to get rid of the water to find out what's sunken underneath here. Kaesden, meanwhile, doing the save and quit back to Link's house to get the piece of love that Oro already contained with flooting there.
Yeah, I guess it is marginally faster to flute rather than save and quit.
Yep.
And Kaesden also going to the dam in South Shore area.
Meanwhile, Oro, oh, nice block with the shield. And some people say shields are useless.
That's all. You use the shield so little, that's often a property that I forget. That, hey, shields can deflect things. Who knew?
Alright, well, here we go. Our favorite, Bomb Dorm Cave.
Yeah, that Mini Moldorm tried to fake Oro out there, and the other two not really biting at the bomb on the left side. This looks like a good trap. And yep, still manages to have 3 bombs at the end, plus the Hoarder Crab is a renewable source of bombs. We get the Bug Net, and all our Zora money, and where a sword would have been, the green 20.
We're going over to 8 more than likely. Oh, we're going to 6. We're going to scout out the desert ledge here. More than likely check Agina's cave. Just 10 arrow on the ledge though.
Yep, so the Bug Net is a very important item to find in Swordless. That is our way of defeating Aghanim, should that be necessary. With swords not in the pool, we don't have to worry about the curtains that are in the back of Aghanim's tower. So Agina's cave just with a full heart container, which is definitely appreciated in this mode.
Ooh. We still don't know what the stun prize is. I want to know what the stun prize is.
Well, Kaesden's isolated Ice Rod Cave check netted a glove. So Oro's going to be missing that for a little while Oro checks the uncle. Might decide to go into Hyrule Castle after this, but with only 2 bombs and Fire Rod without any magic right now, that might not necessarily be the thing that's on Oro's mind.
I was going to go ahead and answer a question here in chat, but it seems like chat already answered the question for us. Oh, there's our lamp. Oh, there's our old man in logic.
Alright, back of escape for Kaesden has Red Cane of Samaria, 20 rupees, and the map. And it looks like Kaesden is also going to go backwards to check the Dark Crossroom chest. With the Fire Rod, this is in logic, although it can be a bit difficult since Kaesden doesn't currently have any magic, and Keyrat doesn't always cooperate, but does there.
I think Kaesden has plenty of time to be able to make it to the Dark Cross chest, though. However, Oro is going to have a much more pleasant time instead of Kaesden, though, with the lamp.
So
I missed it. Oh. What did he open?
Oro opened the map chest and got a small key, and then thought about taking the small key and using it to run to the back, which is an interesting play. We know that it's not necessary because Kaesden already found a glove upgrade, Oro might try to do that anyway and forego Zelda's cell after checking the boomerang chest.
And chat pointing out, and then Oro just now confirming it, that it is a small magic for our stun prize. Useful, but not barring at the same time. I'm sure our runners would much prefer either a heart refill or a full magic in of itself, maybe even bombs as well. But a small magic will have to do. Because we're getting a Gina cave here out of Kaesden's side.
Mm-hmm. Alright, and Oro is indeed heading down to Zelda's cell. And Zapper points out, since the Hyrule Castle map chest was the small key, then safe scumming the key was not necessary, which is why Oro is indeed
almost
continue
got
on.
sniped. I'm sorry to cut you off, but he almost got sniped by the green guard. Oh, that was close.
Yeah,
and the 10 bomb.
They dodged a bit of a bullet there, but hey, that 10 bomb refill, pretty good to have early game.
That was really close. Samus was clenching her cheeks a little bit on that one, and I don't know if Oro has an emote specifically for that or not. But we're going to get the Dark Cross here on Oro's end. Meanwhile, Kaesden fluting over to 5, more than likely to check Saha's closet, which I still don't believe we saw that yet either.
Yeah, we're running a little bit low on options. After this, we have Eastern Palace as well as the Mountain, which we haven't seen yet. And there's the book from Dark Cross Room. And Oro, without the glove, is going to take that and go all the way to the back. So this will get Oro the cane, but use a little bit of time going through some extra rooms. And the book does give us Desert Palace as well. In the meantime, Kaesden found the boots. Was that from Saha's closet, I think? Yep, that was from Saha's closet. So Kaesden heading and doing the uncle checks. And we'll see where Oro decides to flute to after this. Oro is going to be the first one to go to the mountain area with the lamp. Then Oro will be able to check the old man in logic. And Kaesden is going to head to the front of Hyrule Castle, which didn't really offer too much of value. Does get Kaesden a small bomb refill, I guess. Alright, on Oro's side, let's see where the old man... Turns out the old man just has a red rupee, and Oro is going to decide to climb the mountain at this point, checking out Spectacle Rock Cave. Alright, a top Spectacle Rock is the Quake Medallion. Don't know if we'll need that yet. In Swordless, there is a modification such that the medallions will only work in their designated areas, and you need to have the hammer first before being able to use a medallion. So Oro is now fluting to Ice Rod Cave, which is very good for them, because they'll be able to pick up that first glove upgrade. All right. Well, after Kaesden gets these bombs out of Hyrule Castle, we'll see where Kaesden wants to go. I would imagine that Desert Palace is pretty early on their minds, with the glove, the fire rod, and the boots. It is guaranteed that we'll be able to full clear Desert Palace right now, but dealing with mini Moldorms, or dealing with the Land Molas can be a bit daunting. Alright, in the meantime, Oro is checking the Flippers things. With the Moon Pearl, we are going to be able to see Waterfall Cave as well, and with 771 rupees, we are in no danger of running out of rupees after we pay for the 500 rupee most likely scam item. Kaesden, in the meantime, follows those boots to Bonk Rocks just for a 3 bombs.
Due to my power outage. Where were boots?
Boots were in Saha's closet.
Ooh. Got those early on Kaesden. Oro's probably not going to find those till after we're done with the Zora area.
Yeah, and with those boots, Kaesden is indeed going to head into Desert Palace and hope to full clear it in one go. Gotta be a bit careful. Worried about running out of magic with that fire rod. 10 bombs is at least something of a backup. In the meantime, fake flippered, but did not get Waterfall Cave.
We're going to get the right side of desert here on Kaesden's side. I don't think we found an item yet, actually, while we've been here. Boop. 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 Ooh, 2 for 1. Nice. Way to do that right side. Kaesden's been practicing.
Yep, and with the Sun Prize being those small magic decanters, Kaesden filling up on magic, getting ready for this upcoming Landmos fight. It's an important thing to do. So, Oro, we really want to see something on the fish. Unfortunately, it's just a piece of heart. And the big key was on the torch, so we need the boots in order to clear Desert Palace. Unfortunately, Oro is now going into Desert Palace without having gone to Saha's closet, so Oro will not be able to clear Desert Palace on the first go-around, or get that hook shot. So, a bit of an early game advantage in Kaesden's favor at this point, but plenty of game left to play. The hookshot is also a very nice item to have early, both because it can stun enemies and because it can defeat the small enemies like the Popos that would otherwise deplete Kaesden's bomb count.
Not only that, on Oro's end here, he's still going to have the hook shot, which will give him a little bit of extra mobility as opposed to Kaesden's boots upper hand at the moment.
Well, Oro's not going to be able to get the hook shot without the
without the boots. That's true. So Oro's going to have to realize that his boots are somewhere.
The advantage is in Kaesden's favor at this point, but plenty of game left to play.
So let's see. We're going to get the 5-6 play for Desert Palace here. I would like to believe we're more than likely, if we don't get a hammer here, we're more than likely going to see an Eastern Palace dip here on Kaesden's end. Meanwhile, Oro's going to realize, oh man, I still have to go to the Eastern area. And he's going to more than likely go get his boots here now.
Yep. We'll see if Oro decides to go into Eastern Palace, which Kaesden did not do. If Oro decides to go in with the lamp, that's a little bit easier to do because you know that the big key chest is in logic. If Oro finds something nice in Eastern Palace, then that could be an early advantage for Oro that would offset the advantages that Kaesden has currently. In the meantime, Kaesden with a very nice clear on those Land Molas, using magic perfectly for a vanilla full heart container. But more importantly, a red crystal. So here we see Oro heading to Saha's closet, going to get those boots, and probably not be too happy about that at this point.
Nope, because he's going to have to realize, oh man, I could have had these and already had Eastern done, or not Eastern, I apologize, Desert done at the same point. Already prepping that flute out, already fluting back over to the desert. Meanwhile, Kaesden's going to be doing the mountain play with this freshly gained hook shot. Ooh, never mind. We're getting a flute to 8 on Oro's end to clean up this Ice Rod cave here.
No, I think Oro is setting up the water walk in order to get Waterfall Cave. Or already checked Ice Rod Cave for the glove.
Trying to stay out of the way of having to double dip Desert Palace here more than likely, which I understand. You already walked through the dungeon. You want to see if you can find something that maybe, just maybe, puts you out of the realms of having to go back into Desert Palace, but I think it's going to be very unfortunate that it basically is the next thing you have to do.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused why Oro decided to do this to begin with rather than checking the Waterfall Cave straight away, since they did have the Moon Pearl at the time.
And could have just fake flippered into it at the time being, correct? And here goes the flute back to desert on Oro's end. Meanwhile, Kaesden giving us our first Dark World check. Okay, and we have a green pendant pod. And the other 2 pendants are Skullwoods and Mire.
Yep, with the remaining red crystal being Turtle Rock. So we are going to be needing to find that Ice Rod at some point today.
Oh, baby, the Nice Rod.
Alright, so Oro heading into Desert Palace now, has a difficult boss fight coming up, but we'll pick up the hookshot here. We'll be able to use the hookshot to stun enemies to get a little bit more magic before making this a Landmo fight. And Oro will be on their way. In the meantime, Kaesden is going right for the right side of the mountain. Hope to find something good at this point.
We're going to be getting the bottom 2 here of Paradox Cave, and Oro's just going to be cleaning up what he had to leave behind, not what he was able to do, what he was able to leave behind. There we go. That's the way to word that sentence. And getting his hook shot, and more than likely gonna. I wonder, honestly, at this point, do you kind of just save the back of desert for whenever you come back here to quote unquote check Mire, or you just clear it now and get it out of the way?
I think that Oro wants to clear it now because Oro will know that there's an item on the boss, and they will want to have that.
Hammer in the far right chest of Paradox Cave. So there's our Dark World access on the bottom of the land. Kaesden going up and downstairs, getting his cardio in before this bomb jump. Meanwhile, Oro making his way back to the Landmo fight, much like we saw Kaesden do earlier. Should be pretty easy with the Fire Rod in hand.
Alright, just a piece of heart there, and Kaesden is going to go into Tower of Hera. Since it is a crystal, Kaesden will be able to clear it. And since he already has a fire source, doesn't quite have the lamp yet.
However, we do get an ether tablet hole here, and it's just another piece of love. Man, we are finding small love everywhere.
Yeah. And I think that is not quite enough magic to do the Landmo fight, and Oro knows this as well, so they are going to try to stun some more enemies and get that magic back.
So this is going to give Kaesden more and more time to keep getting progression here in these dungeons. This is weird on the end of Oro's side. I've seen him in a lot of race rooms actually practicing swordless, even with some names like Dante. And it comes to me as a surprise that he's concerned about his magic whenever he has a Canis Samaria that can deal damage to landmines as well as bombs. So someone that picked the mode and not being comfortable with those weapons kind of confuses me a little bit. Oh, and here we go. We ran out of magic anyway. I don't know about that one. I take it Oro does not know how to bomb Landmo.
Bombing Landmola is both difficult to do and slow, so at this point Oro is basically going to take the gamble that there's nothing important on Landmo for the time being. And we know that the item that's on Landmola isn't important, but Desert Palace is a red crystal, so if somehow Pyramid Fairy happens to come into play, then that could be a bit of a setback for later, depending on where the other items are. But in the meantime, Oro is on the right track. They are going into Paradox Cave, going to grab that hammer, and probably follow Kaesden up the Tower of Hera to get this last, to get the next crystal out of the way.
Chat pointing out that Oro might be feeling pretty pressured because of Sphere 1 boots. But at the same time, though, too, you're feeling a little bit more pressure leaving there instead. And honestly, emotions can start to run high whenever you do play like that. Good Moldorm's play, though, here. That was really well played there. And Kaesden, meanwhile, though, Hera is all done. We're already 2 crystals deep on his end. We're going to get a Spiral Cave and more than likely a Save and Quit into Hype Cave on his end. Or no, not a Save and Quit. I apologize, a Flute, because it's faster. Please don't Save and Quit like you did already, Kaesden. I love the hook shot for Moldorms. It's so nice.
Yeah, that last Moldorm in the diagonal passageway can sometimes not play nicely, as in that case there, but not too much of a hindrance for Kaesden, who just finds 50 rupees at the bottom of Spiral Cave.
And fluting away down to 4. Oh no, to 3.
Yep. So with the Hammer, Gloves, and Moon Pearl, that is Dark World access. So Kaesden couldn't do Village of Outcasts, but going to do Sick Kid first with the bottle that was obtained in Tower of Hera.
Oh baby. And now we're getting the Flute to 4 to Hype Cave. Now we're getting the Flute to 2 to turn in the... Kaesden is just known for breaking my commentary ankles at this point. Can you Flute to 4 this time, Kaesden? Thank you. Meanwhile, Oro here, more than likely going to set up a nice, good old-fashioned hook speed Hera pot. Ooh, quick.
Yeah, that was a fantastic Hera pot.
That was super speedy.
And yeah, we're getting some comments about the bomb Landmo strats. Oro only had 5 bombs at the time, and even if they would get the bomb Landmo, it's still such a long time that it's almost faster to just save and quit and try again later when you have full magic.
I do believe, though, that he only had 1 Landmo snake left. So 2 bombs and it's over. However, again, comfortability, right? If you know you can't do it and you can do it faster with other resources, just get it done faster with other resources. All right, down goes Moldorm on Oro's side. Meanwhile, on Kaesden's side, we're going to go into Stumpy here. Simple routing for a simple Dark World.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Oro with a very fast Moldorm fight. Stumpy with another heart container, so that brings Kaesden to 12. Pretty healthy for a swordless seed.
Yeah, you know, most of the time whenever you hear swordless, you're like, oh man, I gotta play super safe in this seed, and man, everything can like kill me, and all the fights are gonna be hard. We're already at the second row of hearts. And correct me if I'm wrong, but both males are in the pool for this mode as well. So we could be really safe.
There's
Kaesden's picking up
Kaesden's
the 13th
heart.
We have to keep track of Kaesden's heart here. He is very known in the community for 17 hearts. Da-da-da-da, the 50 rupees. Oro more than likely going to flute from here at this point. And now Kaesden fluting over to 3, more than likely going to go into a VOO play.
Alright, Oro also heading to 2, going to get a refill on that bottle. So Oro following Kaesden's footsteps at this point. Got the sick kid check. We'll see if Oro decides to also flute away. No, Oro is going to go into the Dark World here rather than go to Hype Cave first.
I like the call. Mainly because you could just take your VOO play and route in, your dig game, your stumpy. But, VOO could also just have your mirror or your mitts and make it even cleaner routing from here. Either way, it's a coin flip call.
Yep, exactly. Both plays end up evening out about in the long run.
Get the map check on Oro's side here while he map tracks for his own self. Meanwhile, Kaesden just gets good old 20 rupees out. Ooh, I know this MSU. Got the Grand Poo World 2 MSU on Kaesden's side. The Grand Poo World 2 MSU actually has a lot of really good hit classic songs from a lot of your old favorites growing up. Some of them, though, I actually don't remember the individual names of. First chest of Thieves Town is going to be the small key chess game on Oro's side. Just giving us bombs back. Ooh, and there's our half magic there.
That's another safety that'll be very much appreciated by these runners.
Especially on Oro's end. Oro will definitely want to go back to Desert Palace to defeat Lanmo now. Oh, don't be surprised that comms know what Grand Poo World 2 is. I love that stuff. Oh, the big key is in the third chest. Oh, Oro tried to get the key dash in a VOO door. He almost had it lined up right. Oh, the lag in Thieves Town. The lag in Thieves Town can be unreal at times if those pixels line up the right way for those nights. Not fun.
So once again, we have both runners. They took mostly the same route here. Kaesden just slightly ahead, both in terms of crystal count and in terms of positioning in this dungeon. But lots of game left to play.
Well, not only that, with us being swordless here in this seed, a lot of your dash lines in every dungeon that a lot of NMG runners learn are actually not a good habit to have for swordless. So this is actually gonna kind of abolish the normal way of play. So it's up to the swordless execution of our runners to be able to make these plays happen, and for Oro to be able to catch up here, as Oro gets bunny beamed and turns into a baby Metroid.
Alright. So far, nothing in the attic, nothing of note really in Thieves Town.
This seed does not have that much divergence yet. I wonder what the key item is going to be that's going to make our runners separate. I'm thinking if one of them finds the bow ahead of the other, that might be our key separation. Or mitts. One of those two. Oh, and Patrick the Starfish not playing friendly there on Kaesden's side. Or on Oro's side. Oh my goodness.
Oh man, what a brutal positioning for that enemy on Noro's side. Alright, so Oro, they are only going to be able to climb the attic with just 2 hearts left, and on green mail, that is enough for those beetles to be lethal. So Oro gonna have to be a bit careful with this section here. Does a nice job getting around them to get the bomb and get the chest, though.
Meanwhile, on Kaeden's side, he was able to open up blind cell and everything else. And as you saw, he had to stop his dash multiple times because he had to remind myself, I don't have a sword. I don't have a sword. I don't have a sword. It's much like I was saying earlier. The memorization of dash lines is great, but you don't have a sword. Oro making his way down to the basement as Kaesden is making his way up to the basement. We're going to see some swordless strats here for blind coming in on Kaesden. Meanwhile, the starfish are just not playing friendly on Oro's side. Patrick, the jellies, just not getting out of Oro's way. 2 hammer hits on Kaeden's side, make it a 3rd here. Oh, this is kind of in line with the script, almost.
All right, the first 2 phases for the hammer blind fight going very well for Kaesden. Oro picked up those hearts in the blind cell area, has just 4 coming into this fight, as we see Kaesden clear blind with a very nice job, gets a crystal, and no other items of particular note.
I know Kaesden and his teammates actually joke about how old he is, but those reactions were looking pretty young on my end.
Oro got the heart duplication glitch from the heart that was in the pot right outside the boss fight. That'll bring Oro to 6 for this hammer blind fight. In the meantime, Kaesden is going into Skull Woods. Oro uses 4 of those 6 hearts now, does have a blue potion, and is going to set up the Cane of Samaria block here. Getting hit by blind himself will do 2 hearts of damage, but getting hit by a fireball only does 1.
The head themselves, though, can deal 2, so he has to be really careful here. As he gets encompassed and dies.
So another unfortunate death for Oro. Well, I guess the first one wasn't technically a death. Another fortunate not able to clear the boss on the first go around for Oro, but Oro is going to come back and do it this time.
Hopefully on Oro's end, he's able to clear it on this time because blind is no longer in a set position for this fight. His verticality is much higher in this room, meaning that there is no safe back end on him. So we are going to have to see a Samaria fight on Oro's end here.
Yeah. In the meantime, I missed the Skullwoods checks on Kaeden's side. I don't know if we found anything important there.
Very, very quick dips, and I don't see anything updated on the tracker. So I believe it was just a really quick dip of the front of Skull. Do we have flippers? I didn't see a Kern jump. Or was it a splash delete? I don't know what he did. That was fast. Oh, and Oro takes the death again. You have to use your potions, man. We are getting really greedy with potions lately in these playoffs of League that I've been seeing lately. I do not understand.
Okay, so Kaesden had set up a water walk in order to...
Oh, okay, good call.
Get over here quick.
Very fast, and it's just 20 on the catfish. Yeah. Oro abandoning thieves. We're going to dig game on his end. Boop, 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 boop. We're going to get that whole heart container here soon after a few more boops. And Kaesden fluting over to 5 with the freshly grabbed bow. That's what we missed.
Okay. So Eastern Palace is the destination of choice for Kaesden. Kaesden also has the option to do pod afterward, though pod is the green pendant. Picks up another heart container from Stump Kid, going to head to Hype Cave here, most likely. And
like I said,
we'll see what they decide to do after that.
Yep. Like I was saying earlier, VOO into the South Dark World route. It's pretty nice to do because then you can just go north through the Hammerpeg Bridge and make your way into Palace of Darkness. However, where our bow was, not gonna be friendly for Oro here.
And I don't believe we saw a pyramid check on Kaesen's end. We'll see if Oro decides to do that.
And I believe in this mode, by the way, for that way it can be updated on the tracker. The moment we get bow, we get silvers immediately. Kaesden doing the nice triangle strat here for the Stalfos room. I'm gonna get myself caught up in the Grand Poo World 2 MSU again. Happens every time. Oro is making his way to pod. Sorry, Danny.
I was gonna say Oro and Palace of Darkness. This is the route divergence that Oro could potentially use. It might be a little while before Kaesden decides to dive into pod with just the green pendant at the end of it. So, if Kaesden ends up getting sidetracked, but it turns out something important is here, then that could be potentially very good for Oro.
But also is the call because to give a little introspective lore here on this one, JKLOL's team member Leoria of Light has a big tendency of making a pendant pod play, as her and her accomplices know it. So this might be a call on Oro's end too, to kind of play off of the teammates' habit. However, on Kaesen's side, though, we're going to get a bow in the Eastern Palace clear into more than likely him dipping pod himself here after he's done. But be able to complete the dungeon.
Yeah, and we didn't see anything important from Eastern Palace on Kaesen's end so far. I wasn't keeping track of the dungeon items, so I'm not sure if there's an item on Armos Knights at this point. But Kaesden doesn't really have that much left to do other than go to Palace of Darkness now. So unless Kaesden makes a very spicy Spike Cave play, then Kaesden will probably be in pod very shortly. In the meantime, Oro, despite having the potion, is going to set up a Mimic clip.
A pause buffer Mimic clip at that, showing everyone that you don't need to hug the wall for this to work. Oh, and he did have it. Oh, no.
All right, there's the Titan's Mitts from Armos Knights on Kaesen's side. So Titan's Mitts opens up a bit more of the world. We now have the ability to go up Dark Death Mountain for 6 items with the hookshot as well. We also have Smith Chain in Logic, as well as the Misery Mire area, which Kaesden is going to check out first.
I understand the Misery Mire play. Get Mire Shed out the way. Find out what your Mire medallion entry is, just in case. You never know. However, after this, it's definitely an Ice Palace clear.
Yep, Ice Palace as well. So this is the kind of situation that has the most potential to work towards Oro's advantage and get Oro caught back up in the game. If Oro finds something in Pendant Pod and it takes a while before Kaesden decides to make the same play, then that could be the break that Oro needs.
The big break that Oro could use here is if Mir is actually here in Pod. That would be a very big help to Oro, because Kaesden will not get that at anytime soon at least.
Yep, and we will need the mirror at some point because Swamp Palace is a crystal. So Kaesden, in the meantime, going to follow up on those Titan's Mitts and also check King's Tomb. Hey, there's where a sword would have been.
For those that want to know, every green 20 rupee drop that we find is what a sword would have been if we were playing a normal mode. And here's the Ice Palace play on Kaesden's side. The
green 20s actually are just because the swords were taken out of the pool and the game needed something to replace them with. They don't mean anything in terms of logic for the seed, but we did find the magic cape on Oro's side, which puts Spike Cave in logic for them.
Meanwhile, Kaesden's gonna use this opportunity here to check his waterfall cave, and more than likely see what's on Zora's ledge, because he left these undone whenever he was doing his opener for South Ledge. There's the 50 and the 1. Oro going into the backup pod here, because I believe we found all keys on the front, correct?
I think so. Yep, Oro not doing the hammer yump, so we're gonna need to find that big key before wanting to do that.
Oh, we found a cape on Bollock's side. I brought it up really quick to watch it back. We got a compass on the right side of Dark U and another small key, which means there's an item in the hallway here to the south of the turtle room. There's our big key. Oro's gonna go down and set up the hammer yump, like you were saying, Danny.
Alright, this looks like an Ice Palace play from Kaesden.
It looked like an Ice Palace play the last time, too. Let's see if he jukes us again.
Yeah, especially with that Bombos medallion. That's about as much help as you can have for the cold snare devices you're ever going to get. In the meantime, Oro finds the Ether medallion, so we don't know what the Turtle Rock medallion is yet. If the Ether is what we need for Turtle Rock, then Pendant Pod.
That's Oro's out.
And there's the mirror. As you had mentioned, finding mirror was a big help for Oro, and that puts... Oh, we don't have the flippers yet, but that puts us one step closer to getting into Swamp Palace.
Always believe in Pendant Pod, Kaesden's teammate says. However, Oro used his teammate's praise against him. Meanwhile, Oro going up to Skull Woods? Question mark? Maybe?
Yeah, so Oro didn't do the Thief Sound Clear earlier, so is going to take the time to do that now, and is also going to follow up on the North Dark World checks. Oro hasn't seen Bumper Cave yet, and does have the mirror, which puts both Graveyard Ledge as well as King's Tomb in logic for Oro. We saw the King's Tomb check already on Kaesden's side with the mitts, but Oro can check it as well using the mirror plus the boots.
Oro could also get the information here that maybe our flippers could be on bed. Just maybe.
Oh, I guess that's about the only thing that could be on pedestal now.
Yep.
Can't be the Quake medallion.
Nope.
Could still be the Ice Rod.
It always could be Ice Rod. Ice Rod could be everywhere. Oh yeah, Oro is darting straight to the back.
Yep, Kaesden passed by the back checks earlier. I'm not sure if Kaesden had gotten both items out of Skullwoods, but either way, we're gonna see something new on Oro's side.
All right. Meanwhile, Kazen making quick work of this Ice Palace. However, full clearing it to find out what he can find out of logic. Because we are still flippers away from this dungeon being in logic at all. Oh, got tackled by my dog. Much like Oro is tackling this moth fight.
Nice transition. All right, Oro with a very effective Mothula fight. That was fantastic. Just gets a compass though.
Well, Kazen trying to get a good start here on the Cold Stare fight. Nice triple hit with the hammer. We're going to get some Fire Rod splash shots while we can. Keep them together. And the cotton candy gets burnt to a crisp.
Yeah, very effective Cold Stare fight on Kazen's side as well. Oro jumping back into Skull Woods to see if they can find something in the chest in the front.
Make this a really quick check too, especially since we have Mir on Oro's side.
Was just a small key. So I think that means that Kaesden did get both items from Skullwoods.
All right, Chad, get hype. We're getting the ped check. Get hype. We're going to find out what's here. And it's just rupees. Always just rupees.
Moving right along. But yeah, we see Kaesden going up the mountain here, and Kaesden doesn't have the mirror yet, so putting off Pendant Pod for a bit longer and getting sidetracked by all these other options that are available.
I believe Floating Island did not have an item on it of interest. So this is going to be turning into a Super Bunny. Find out what TR medallion entry is. So we're going to find out if that ether is worth it too or not here on our end.
Mm-hmm. Kaesden does have the Bombos medallion, but did the Dark World entry here. So Kaesden is not looking to go into Turtle Rock at this point, it means. And there we see the bow on Oro's side.
Ooh, 15 hearts. Getting ever so close to Kazen's go mode for 17. Meanwhile, Oro getting the second item out of Skull Woods and getting out of here.
Okay, so that's why Kaesden was only in Skull Woods for a very short time. The checks were just that short in the
right
front.
There. It is ether.
Right. So Pendant Pod, well, I guess it was required anyway because of the mirror, but it's even more required now with that ether medallion being there.
Oh my goodness. Why did I jinx it fully? Oh man. That's funny. Oh man, and Hookshot Cave just coming up short on Kazen's end, which means he's more than likely going to go towards a Smith play after doing Spike Cave here. Oro double checking the Lumberjack ledge too to be added, and seeing that it is just a piece of heart. Oh man, Lionels are really mean without a sword. Nice manipulation though.
Yep, so Kazen's going to check Spike Cave, and I imagine that Kazen doesn't really have much left to do other than the Pendant Pod play. We haven't seen any of the parts of Smith Chain yet, I don't believe.
I think Kazen will do Smith Chain first before Pod, though. That's just my honest opinion on that one. I think he wants to avoid Pendant Pod like the plague. More than likely just out of spite of his teammate. And just 3 bombs in the Spike Cave, so nothing on DDM.
Ooh, Oro taking a lot of damage from that High Nox. Yeah, that High Nox hits pretty hard.
I just received a DM from said teammate saying she can't wait to yell at him for said plays. I told you she is an advocate of the Pendant Pod.
All right, Bumper Cave, or not Bumper Cave. Graveyard Ledge not having anything for Oro this time around.
Now, meanwhile, this appears to... It was going to be Big Bomb, but Kaesden realizing that his 5/6 is on TR, probably saying, what am I doing? And going to Pyramid Ledge into Pot, I believe. So he will be getting that Mirror and that Ether here soon. Meanwhile, Oro checking King's Tomb, which we know is nothing. I think it was bombs? No, it was the sword. That's right. Oh my goodness. How did I forget?
Oh, just a bottle on Pyramid Ledge. Take bottles, even if they have bees.
Was that our first logical bottle? No, it was
No.
not. No. No, I'm having what some refer to as seed bleed. I refer to as seed. It's hard to say. Bleh, I'm not even gonna try anymore. I'm too tired for this. Seednesia.
That bottle was found in Tower of Hera. So Oro going into Eastern now with the bow. So this is going to end up being Oro's first crystal clear, but has all but the boss to do in Desert Palace and Thieves Town as well.
Yeah, where Oro makes up for the items that Kaesden is missing, Kaesden is making up for the bosses that Oro is missing currently. Which is still quite a bit, actually, on Oro's end, because we still have to get a Thieves Town and a Desert Palace kill on his end. Which is just unfortunate, to say the least.
Alright, so Kaesden is in Pendant Palace of Darkness as well. This will get Kaesden the Mirror, the Ether Medallion, and the option to clear for the green pendant, which Oro did not do, since Oro didn't have a bow at the time.
You think he kills it?
I think so. Especially since, like, Palace of Darkness with the green pendant, you already have the mirror, and Sahasrara's right there. I think that is reasonable to do the clear at this point. So if something like Ice Rod or Flippers ends up being on Sahasrara, then that could be a pretty powerful advantage on Kaesden's side.
Even something being on Helma itself, because I think the last item is actually on Helma, because we already have the compass in the map.
That's true.
And Helma, for those that don't know, cannot have a small key. So all that's left is an item. We're gonna yeet that bomb towards that wall. We're gonna open this chest. We're gonna pull out our bonk machine, and we're gonna open this one and get on out of here. Meanwhile, Oro's making down the dark catacombs of the Eastern Palace. Bonk.
So I imagine at this point, Oro is going to catch up on some of these crystals. On Kaesden's side, when Kaesden finds both the Ether Medallion and the Mirror, that could open up Kaesden to the possibility of going back into Turtle Rock and hoping that the Ice Rod is there. Or alternatively, Kaesden might be tempted to do the Mirror checks that Kaesden wasn't able to do earlier. Also including Smith Chain. Kaesden was probably waiting to find the Mirror before starting Smith Chain, and, well, Kaesden's about to find the Mirror.
I believe that you could do Smith Chain down into like your K45 and your Bombos tablet and see if you get flippers on during those checks, you know, since you're conveniently walking down to Swamp Palace doing that regardless. However, like you said, TR could just also have our flippers. I've been right 2 times this seed. Pray I'm not right a third.
Yeah, flippers probably the biggest question mark right now, because flippers will open up Swamp Palace to be full cleared, and Swamp Palace with its 6 items seems like it would be a likely destination for the Ice Rod. But that's not necessarily how the seed will play out. We might get Ice Rod first. So Oro picks up the Titan's Mitts from Armos Knights and gets Oro's first crystal.
Kaesden going to be doing the Dark U checks as well here. Both of them being keys, if I remember correctly. Oh, one was the compass, one was the key. That is right. I wonder what Oro's next play here is, though. Very curious with the mitts. And I wonder if it is going to be... It is straight to Meyer area. With the mirror, we're going to get a checkerboard check here, so we might find flippers.
That's true. This is one of those isolated checks that you never really look forward to doing, but you might as well while it's there. Or also going to take the time to catch up and beat Landmolas, now with the Silver Arrows, Fire Rod with half magic, Blue Potion, and a lot better options than using bombs.
Right. However, still using those 2 bombs is just still faster than the time that he is giving back to Kaesden or having to go back through here in Desert Palace regardless. But at the same time too, the relief of just having them done, where that way they're not bothering you anymore, probably feels good on Oro's mind. That red Igor was just like, come here, why are you so fast? You don't have speed booster, this isn't Metroid. Nice Silver's takedown on Oro's side though.
Yeah, that was a perfect setup there for that vanilla full heart container.
Ooh, we are getting the Helma kill here on Kaesen's side. This is more than likely because, much like how she DN'd me, Kaesen more than likely hears the yelling and scolding of his teammate if he didn't do green pendant pod.
Yeah, I absolutely like the Helmasaur clear here. It's such a hard time getting back to pod otherwise, and checking green pendant is almost as easy as you could hope for, really.
She screams from glee in my DMs because I just seen 3 notifications come up, so I'm just gonna leave that one be. I'm not even gonna open it. I think she's yelling at me too. What a mean and nasty teammate, Danny. Goodness. I jest. Everyone here is great. Speaking of everyone being great, make sure to give the runners, Kaesen and Oro, a follow. Also, give Danny a follow here as well, too, if you can. And thank you, Adalor, for the tracking, and give him a follow as well. I'm going to go ahead and enter the Kidmans here in chat, where that way you guys can find the Twitch channels while we are doing our endeavors to killing bosses here.
Yep, and thank you, Will WC, for restreaming and bringing this entertainment to all of us today. And thank you for commentating as well, Jon Snoo. So in the meantime, Oro did check Checkerboard Cave, did not go into Misery Mire at this point because Oro doesn't have the Quake Medallion. Checkerboard Cave only had 3 bombs, so the early mirror advantage not really turning out much use, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just really unfortunate on Oro's side. Meanwhile, we do just have a map here on Helmo, but it is going to give us the green pendant here, which we're going to turn into Saha. I thought I saw the map somewhere else, but haha. Now, I wonder, how could this be nasty?
Quake Medallion would probably be the nastiest thing to find.
I think Quake Medallion to go into Mire, to find your Ice Rod, to go into TR, to kill Trinex, to get your flippers.
Yeah. How about just a piece of heart?
Darn it. Not good enough. Chat and I demand... Chat and I demand chaos. Quake was on Spec Rock, by the way.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was a while back.
Okay, so that means that Mire is in access.
Yes, it is.
Not
so
preferable.
We could still... Oh, it might not be preferable, but we can still hope.
Not sure what's happening on Oro's side.
Whoa. Did Oro just hard lock himself? Wait, Oro straight up hard locked himself.
How, though?
I think he got hit at the same time as Wait, did he tink off of one of the heads? I'm gonna have to watch this back. Hold on. Oro straight up hard locked.
Oh, man.
I don't think Oro can bring up the select menu either. No, Oro has to actually just straight up reset.
That was a hard reset. Oh, that's really unfortunate. I feel very bad for Oro.
Oh, no.
I'm not sure when the last time that they had saved was.
Oh, ooh. Ooh, a while ago. It's been a while. Lost the bow, I think.
Oro's going into Eastern Palace.
But we didn't lose the bow fully.
Yeah, they did do a map check, so presumably they have the bow.
Okay, someone clipped it. So I'm gonna try to see if I can figure out what happened here.
Yeah, the chests in Eastern Palace are not opened, and that was Oro's first dungeon clear. Oro does not have the bow.
I figured out what happened. Oro used the Samaria cane at the same time of picking up an item. You cannot pick up a boss item at the same time as using an item. It will hard lock your game. Period.
Oh, that's a huge setback, unfortunately, for Oro.
That is why you don't spam items while waiting at the explosion.
So Oro going to go to the front of Skullwoods to get that bow back now. It will at least know some information about the seed as to what checks to open. So Oro has a mini pilot spoiler on their hands.
I like it.
Yeah.
As unfortunate as it is, though, even though the lead was already in Kaesden's favor, I think that just kind of made it a little bit more pertinent in the deal. We found out on Oro's end that Oro's missing a lot. Oro does not have the bow anymore or Bombos medallion. We have to clean up the kills still again. This is just unfortunate on Oro's side, and you hate to see it happen. Meanwhile, Kaesden going over here to the checkerboard cave to find out that it's just bombs as well. Both runners just refusing to go either into... Well, Oro can't at the moment, but Kaesden more so, on the other hand, just refusing to go up to TR or go up and grab that Quake medallion, which I believe our play is either going to be in Mire or in TR for our flippers at this point. This is just really unfortunate.
Yeah. So of note, Oro is deciding to continue here despite this really awful setback. So you have I really admire that. Oro doing their best to finish the seed anyway and just like grin and bear it and move on and give us as much of a show as they can, both for us and for themselves, as well as for their team. So, huge props to Oro for doing that.
Absolutely. At the same time, too, like, Oro, please don't spam it this time. Don't you dare. I swear, man, don't do it. Don't do it. I hope they learned their lesson. Don't do it, Oro. Please no. Please no Spamarino the Canerino. One more cane shot should do it. There it is. Oro picking up the block and yeeting it out of frustration. There we go. And getting that Chrysalit has eluded him for so long. Meanwhile, Kaesden making the play into TR here after getting the Quake medallion.
Yeah, Oro does indeed not have Cane of Burna anymore,
Nope.
but managed to get that blind fight regardless.
Yeah.
So Kaesden going into Turtle Rock. We haven't found either the ice rod or the flippers, so Kaesden hoping that something is here. I wasn't sure what all Kaesden had checked in the meantime. I think we saw...
Oh my goodness.
I think that we had seen the Bombos tablet on Kaesden's side through Smith Chain.
Yep.
So this might actually be Kaesden's last ditch option, so Kaesden might know that something is here.
It's either here or in Mire. Both dungeons are fully in logic with the exception of Trinex, whatever is behind Trinex himself. There's our flippers. Hey, called it.
All right.
So that's 2 for 3.
So Kaesden taking those flippers and deciding to head out right away. I like this play a lot. This is basically saying that, hey, I think Ice Rod is in Swamp Palace. And if it's not, given that Kaesden has already cleared pretty much everything in the game, then Kaesden can just come back to Turtle Rock later, and the only time lost is an additional mountain climb.
Meanwhile, Oro's just trying to speed to these big keys, skipping the chest that he already knows is not valuable at all. So just trying to make up this lost time for the hard lock that he Samaria'd himself into. Some people say that Samaria is their favorite item for running a Link to the Past because of the glitches that it can do. I'm pretty sure Oro will curse that sentiment to this day. And then Dapper Warman in chat actually making a really good point out, Danny, that bailing out on TR because you're more than likely going to lose your portal anyway to go to Swamp is probably the right call. Because if your Ice Rod is here, cool, you saved yourself from having to go all the way through TR. If your Ice Rod isn't here in Swamp, you're going to go all the way through to Laser Bridge and see if your Ice Rod is there for the offensive TR play. And if it's not, then it's in Mire.
Yep, exactly.
I think we're literally out of checks at this point.
Yeah. The advantage to going through Turtle Rock, at that point, if you find the Ice Rod in Turtle Rock, then you can go mode Swamp Palace later.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas the advantage to going to Swamp Palace is you are hoping to find the Ice Rod there, in which case then you basically only have to single dip through Turtle Rock. Technically, it's still a double dip anyway because of where Flippers was found on the right side in the front, but that's not too much of a time sink. So either way, you would be climbing the mountain twice.
Well, that was a really good geometry on Oro's side. I like that a lot. It's sad that we have to watch Oro do this dungeon again, but I was able to see that this time. That was pretty slick. Quake is on top of Spec Rock Pyro. And we are going to do the wraparound room here for Mushroom and wraparound room.
Yeah, that's a thing that exists in the world.
Yeah, we forgot all about those, didn't we? Meanwhile, Kaesden going straight to the back, praying that it's in the diver down or in the back chest here.
Yep. Oro going to finish up Desert Palace again, get that last clear out of the way, and then I think Oro will have been caught up on the checks that Oro had done. Shovel, that's another thing that exists in this world.
It's Swamp Palace, the Palace of Fetch Quest. Meanwhile, in Oro's head, you gotta feel pretty rough on this state. Like, you're going to Landmo for the 3rd time now. And this time, not of voluntary reasons.
So once again, props to Oro for continuing.
Yeah, absolutely. And meanwhile, we're going to get the Argus fight here on Kaesden's side, which is basically just a slideshow of switching back and forth between hookshot and hammer. So, if you guys want me to save you the trouble, you're gonna just see 2 hook shots here, and then a hammer. You're gonna walk away, and you're gonna do 2 hook shots, maybe even 1, and then a hammer. This is gonna be happening on Kaesden's side for about the next 30 seconds to a minute and a half. So we could try to watch the spectacle of Oro trying to catch back up into the gears here.
Yep, so Ice Rod did not turn up, and I don't believe Kaesden did the left side of Swamp Palace, so we'll see if Kaesden decides to re-enter here. I imagine that he will.
Yeah, if Ice Rod doesn't turn up here on Argus, yeah, I could see that.
Alright. Oro picks up that Bombos medallion. Now heading to the mountain. So this might be a play to pick up the Quake medallion and go into Turtle Rock. Or maybe pick up the Quake medallion and peace out and go into Mire.
Either way, at this point, I can understand why. This is a desperate clawback, and I like the actual thought process of Oro here. Like, okay, I have to find my go mode, and I have to find it fast. What is the worst place that it could be at? Because I just had a really bad timing here.
Yep, and Oro has already seen the worst place of the pedestal.
Yep. And Kaesden does go back in after getting that big key on Argus.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right, Danny.
Yep.
He's not breaking no ankles.
I think that is the right call on Kaesden's side, too.
Oh, absolutely. And then after this, you go into Mire. At least I would. I wouldn't make the aggressive TR play. Meanwhile, Oro's going to find flippers here on the right chest during this TR dip.
Kaesden did not open the big chest, despite having the big key already from Argus.
Oh, baby, he forgot.
And I don't think he realizes it yet.
Might be opening it on the way up here. Nope.
Oh, okay.
He sees that he forgot it. It's just a compass. Meanwhile, Oro's going to be doing Super Bunny here. Still before going into TR, which I understand. I'm sorry, Kaesden is going to be finishing on the left side of Swamp, and we're going to see what's here. I'm very curious as to the next play he makes, either the aggressive TR or the Mire dip. All right, just a map here on the left side chest. And on the vanilla big key chest, we got a green goo. Shovel and shroom. Shovel and shroom. Shovel and shroom. Remember that dog that tackled me earlier? It's looking at me very confused, like, why are you clapping?
Alright, Oro picks up the flippers and the small key. We have a mirror back, and Oro is going to proceed onward in Turtle Rock and hope to find the Ice Rod here. Kaesden, in the meantime, I think is going to turn in that mushroom. And
yep.
I don't think Kaesden has checked Catfish yet.
No, Kaesden's actually the one that did give us the Catfish until it was 20 rupees.
Ah, okay.
At this point, Oro more so going for broke on this one. Oh no!
All right, it wasn't there. I imagine Kaesden is going to follow up on that shovel check as well.
More than likely. But pyramid ledge first? Did we not get... I thought we did.
Yeah, I think Kaesden already checked pyramid ledge. But Kaesden did not already do
Oh, graveyard ledge.
graveyard ledge. So that was heads up routing to get both the mushroom and graveyard ledge at the same time for Kaesden.
We must have had a death on Oro's side because here we are again in the Chain Chomp's room.
Yeah, those chain chomps on green mail, they don't play nicely all the time.
They don't got a whole lot of bark, but they do have a whole lot of bite.
They don't bark in this game.
Yeah,
Right,
Chain
so
Chomps don't bark.
Kaesden is indeed checking the shovel spot, so
Absolutely.
the question is, does Kaesden go into Misery Mire next? I also believe that Kaesden does not have the pedestal being dead information.
No, but I do know that Kaesden is a player that says Pet is dead until proven otherwise. And there's the Ice Rod.
Alright, so Ice Rod was effectively in Swamp Palace, and with that, Kaesden is now in Go mode, so this is once again very unfortunate for Oro, because Oro's gonna make their way through to Laser Bridge, but... Oh no, Oro won't even be able to save the portal, given where
Nope.
Ice Rod is from, so
Just
it's very unfortunate.
It is. Kaesden was ahead dungeon count and everything else, but at the same time, we don't want to see a player lose wholeheartedly because of a hard lock like that. But let this be a lesson for everyone that plays. Don't spam Samaria. Never a good idea whenever the boss is exploding. Kaesden going to make his way up to TR, while Oro is going to be checking Big Chest first instead of Mimic Cave. I'm actually kind of surprised on that one. Why?
I think Oro briefly forgot about Mimic Cave.
Well, no, I've actually seen players route it this way, and I don't understand why. It's not a time save. There's no reason to do it, especially if you are more than one item from Go mode. One item from Go mode, sure. 2 items from a Go mode makes no sense.
Yeah, I think it's a reasonable thing to do because Mimic Cave takes longer to do than does the first chest in TR. So if the first chest in TR has your Go mode, then you're just basically hoping to not do Mimic Cave. So you're accepting the time loss of however long it takes to go through the TR entrance, hookshot or Cane of Samaria to the big chest, mirror out, which is really not that much, versus the potential advantage of not having to do Mimic Cave, which saves a significantly longer amount of time.
Oh, Oro caught up item wise too. Never mind. I thought he was still 2 from Go, but he caught up back on his items. And it does look like our last small key is here on Laser Bridge. We're going to get the magic refill here. Be able to abuse that cape. Pokey's pulling some jukes on Kaesden. Oh, and shoots him with one back. Says, no, you take it. All right, what's on Laser Bridge? Art container.
Nah. There's that small.
Sword? Oh, no, we're just... Oh, okay. I was about to say, are we just gone on Oro's side? I mean, I don't blame him. Now we're gone.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yep, so Oro going to try to save the portal. Oro hasn't done Ice Palace yet, so we'll most likely do that before Swamp Palace.
Gonna hope that they can find Ice Rod in Ice Palace. We are, however, climbing back up on Oro's side. Oh. Did we not do Ether Tablet, or is this a Spike Cave? I think this is a Spike Cave.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think this is Spike Cave as well.
I think at that point it'd be faster to flute to 1 and then climb up the left side.
Alright, so we see Kaesden making his way to Mothula. We're going to save and quit after that Spike Cave check. And we'll see what they decide to do next.
Danny, this is a really different looking Mothula. This is not the Mothula I'm used to, bud.
Oh, I said the wrong boss.
This is a very strange looking Mothula.
So I know why I did that. It's because Mothula is the boss of Dungeon 3 in the Dark World, and Trinex has 3 heads.
Oh, okay. We got to correlate it that way. Got it. Yeah, I like it. Does that mean that Mothula also has 9 wings?
Ooh, that would... that'd be an interesting one. Maybe you could play the GBA remake and fight 3 Mothulas.
Oh, no. That would explain the flapping sound of the Mothula fight, actually, as well.
Yeah. So also of note, Oro is not trying to save that portal and is going to go into Swamp Palace after checking this Ether tablet, which we know from Kaesden's side is the play that will ultimately get them the Ice Rod.
Their endeavorment of the ice, which is behind Shovel, which is just cruel and mean. All right, y'all. Since TR is done, let's get our predictions in here for the GT Big Key. Go ahead and start throwing in your numbers. I'm going to go ahead and start up the prediction here for the odds or the evens.
Alright, personally I'm always a fan of the number 11, and that is my go-to guess for the Big Key guessing game.
Ooh, so you are an odd type of fella.
Yeah.
I always have to pick 22. However, even though it is my 3rd check personally, I like doing Tile Room. It's fun. It's cathartic almost. Now we got a small
number
key.
1, small key. Number 2, piece of heart. Kaesden is going to do the right side first. As we see Oro draining into Swamp Palace now. Kaesden passing by Tile Room, which is the play that most rational people make, and goes for it.
All right. We're going to get the compass room checks here soon on Kaesden's side. Meanwhile, Oro is going to be getting this Swamp Palace movement underway. Number 3.
Hey, that's red mail.
Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. That works, Kaesden, sure. All right, incoming number 7. making our way over to number 8 here momentarily while Oro flips the switch here in Swamp. We got 8, number 9, 10, and 11. We're at 11, right? So this is 12?
Yep.
Yeah, 12.
Yep, this is 12. This is 12.
This is number 12. Guys, look, counting is hard sometimes, okay?
Lost my number, but maybe I can still get the odds.
Oh, Kaesden, please. Oh, no.
Hey, Kaesden with a nice block setup there to recover.
Nice little escape there. $13. Coming up on 14 through 18 here. Wait, 14, 15? No, 17.
17.
Told you, man. Counting is hard. And
There it
14.
is. All right, 14. Neither my number nor the parody of my number. So if it was your number, then you win. And I'm looking through the chat. I see that Albino Hidalite has it. Very close. So GG Albino Kidalite and GG everyone who predicted even. So with that big key in hand, as well as 2 small keys, Kaesden is going to be on his way up the Ganis Tower climb.
Oh, meanwhile, we're going to be getting the Argus kill on Oro's side.
Yep, Oro also skipped left side Swamp Palace. We'll see if they decide to go back in.
It's not over till it's over. We still have a Aga 2 fight to do with the Bugnet. And we have a whole Ganon fight to do with just the Hammer and Silvers.
So Oro once again deciding to go back into Swamp Palace as Kaesden had done before them.
Don't blame Oro at all for the call. You're kind of hoping that your opponent gambled the left side swamp as your last out with the hard lock. That, again, unfortunate, but I don't want to say that that's ultimately what lost the race. It is ultimately what made it permanent, right? But I would say that Oro's deaths were pretty costly. Not being able to finish Lanamo whenever they were first back there, not being able to kill blind on the first or second attempt. Just left to a lot of dungeons being left to have to come back to.
At this point, I don't think it's particularly fair to say what would or would not have happened had the hard lock not occurred, because given that the hard lock did occur, then that certainly affected Oro's mindset and would cause Oro to make different decisions routing-wise than they would have otherwise done. So, the situation is what it is, and as it stands, the hard lock happened, and Oro press through that, just like, okay, well, I'm going to go back and clear the dungeons that the hardlock caused me to need to re-clear, and I'm going to proceed onward and try to finish the race and still try to get a win. That dude is super commendable.
Absolutely.
Mad props to Oro for pushing on despite the hardlock happening.
Kaesden, meanwhile, blinked and you missed it. That gauntlet was pretty quick without a sword. Bonk. Bonk. Bonk.
Alright, so Oro going to give us that shovel check. We'll be very happy to see that ice rod. So Oro will then be in go mode and hasn't done Ice Palace yet, so a nice go mode Ice Palace, basically a go mode Turtle Rock, and Oro will be on their way to finish the seed.
Meanwhile, we got the Bugnet Aga 2 coming in. The geometry is not the same way as it would be with a sword. However, Kaesden abusing some item dash Bugnets here.
Yeah, Kaesden getting a double there. Pretty nice. This is obviously not a boss fight that most people really practice that much unless they're very familiar with swordless, so it can be a bit tricky, and it's a good thing that the runners have a lot of hearts for this fight.
Cool.
I think Kaesden is now one hit away.
Yeah, should be, if not two. And there it is.
There it is. Alright, so one more fight left in the game on Kaesden, and that is Ganon himself. Because this is swordless mode, and obviously we don't have the Master Sword, at least Ganon's damage has been modified such that he is vulnerable to the hammer for the first couple phases. And then, since the parameters of Seed are bow as silvers, as long as the runners find a bow, they will also have the silver arrows to be able to deal with Ganon for Phase 4, and once again the hammer is used to stun Ganon before the silver shots. So basically keep in mind that hitting Ganon with the hammer here, as Kaesden is doing, is something that you can only do in dedicated swordless mode.
Yep. You can only do this with, spicy life count there. Kaesden's side, making sure to really abuse that red mail.
Yeah, Kaesden had the ideal setup for that Phase 2 going to... Oh, that wasn't quite a one cycle, unfortunately, with that hit there. So, one more cycle, and I think Kaesden has it here, and he knows it. Oh, he doesn't have it. Okay.
Nope.
I stand corrected.
I think it was 6 more hits.
Alright, well now I'll have it, right?
Should have it. There it is.
So we get simultaneous boss fights as Oro enters the Cold Stare Arena.
Oro's still gaming it out like the gamer they are. Commendable, honorable. I salute. Because I wouldn't know. A hard lock at that point, honestly, it's just like, welp. I'm just gonna play and I'm gonna wait. Nice blue here on Kaesden's end. Switching to bombs. Oh baby. Oh, this is a scary hammer. Oh wait, did he get it? He didn't get it. He got a teleport. He got a wow. Oh man. I can't believe. I think Kaesden just cape slashed with the hammer.
That's incredibly hard to do. All right, so alternative condition of 24 of those.
All right, and now goes Cannon on Kaesden's side. I can't believe he did that. Your guys' GG's in the chat for Kaesden, for he will be taking the 3rd win for JKLOL, and they will be moving on in the playoff rounds. Meanwhile, Oro making their way up to the GT.
Yep. All things considered, Oro still gonna finish sub 2 hours.
Oh, absolutely.
Just go mode Turtle Rock, and Ganon Sour left to do. But yeah, with that, Kaesden takes first with a finish time of 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 18 seconds.
I'm very curious. Unfortunately we won't know, but I'm very curious how this race would have played out if not for the lock.
Mm-hmm.
Because my goodness, this would have been close. Meanwhile, we're switching audio tracks back on Oro's end. Much more chill and dire environment song PR here.
Bringing both the Zelda and the Chill to the team of Zelda and Chill's side. Ice Cube Boy freezes again since Ice Rod was ultimately dug up.
I believe we have Kaesden actually in the waiting room for the interview while we let these credits play out. We could pull him in here if we want. Oro's cleaning up this TR here. GG's Kaesden.
GG's.
So,
All right.
I want that Agatu and Ganon fight just erased from the face of the planet. That was so bad.
sadly, that's not going to happen. It is in our VODs forever.
No, I know, but I don't know. But I just went full stupid when I got to Agatu. Once he started getting desynced, and then I was just thrown off for a Ganon fight, and just my brain stopped working.
Also,
Yeah,
routing.
that is absolutely a hard thing to do. Agatu with just the bug net and not really the ability to play nice if they start getting out of sync.
Meanwhile, really quick, Oro making their way to Trinex, playing out the last seed of the league for Zelda and Chill. Might as well go out with a bang. Kaesden, I'm not sure if you're aware, but Oro was spamming Samaria after they killed Blind and picked up the item while spamming Samaria and ended up hard locking their game.
Oh no.
At that point, you were at a 3 dungeon advantage because Oro had to go back and kill Landmo and Blind.
And
yeah, I heard
Ice,
there was,
and pick up the bow again.
Yeah, and pick up the bow
I heard
again.
there was some kind of issue with hard lock and some deaths on Blind, but that's unfortunate.
Yeah, the Landmo incident was like write that up as turning nerves, but then it kept going downhill on Oro's end, unfortunately. My heart goes out because it was a really close race at the start, and the moment that happened, though, it was just couldn't carry on from there. It made Oro lead to some really interesting decisions, though, for routing, though. It was pretty cool to see a semi-spoiler seed for a minute there. Oro really did gain back the time just a bit.
Yeah, I mean, knowing what to open and what not definitely helps, but it also helps to not have to redo it.
Yep. Okay, so we see the 7th crystal clear, and we see the official forfeit on Oro's side. So everyone in chat, GG to Oro for continuing on despite such a huge setback. And once again, like, coming back from that position is an extremely difficult thing to do, given what this game means for both runners and for their teams. So mad props to Oro for pressing on and continuing despite the huge setback. Make sure you give these runners a follow as well, because that shows a lot of very huge strength of character. And ultimately, all being said and done, Oro was just again his tower fight away from still having a fantastic time despite what had happened. So with that being said, Kaesden, how did you feel about that ice rod location, first of all?
I mean, ice rod hunts are never fun. I just figured, I had picked up the Quake on the way to my first dip into TR, thinking, like, if I have to go into Mire, I don't want to have to come back up to get this, so I'm just going to grab it. But I wanted to do everything else first before doing there, so I was just trying to route in all the overworld before heading to Mire and just hoping to find it. And yeah, it's just, it can be anywhere, so it's not fun having to do an ice rod hunt at the end.
It made for an interesting decision when you found the flippers and decided to piece out of Turtle Rock, because at that point, like, if Ice Rod is just on your way to Turtle Rock and you can clear it the first time, then, like, I guess that's fine, but that would save you full clearing Swamp Palace. On the other hand, if Ice Rod is in Swamp Palace and you don't go all the way back through Turtle Rock, then you're just going to have to go through the entire Turtle Rock dungeon another time. Or the third option, where Ice Rod is in Misery Mire, and then both of those alternatives are bad.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's just not a good situation. But I figure it's like, if I gamble TR here, go all the way, the other checks I have are all mirror checks. I can't save my portal, so chances are I'm going through it again anyway. So I might as well just leave and look elsewhere.
That was a good point. Oro was earlier to the mirror than you were. Oro decided to dive into Pendant Pod before going into Skull Woods and finding the bow. But the early play, going bowless, as Oro actually did a mimic clip, led to that Ether Medallion, led to that mirror, and that let Oro route their way through some of the Dark World checks pretty efficiently.
Yeah, and earlier in the seed, though, to commend a little bit on your end, though, 2Ks, and you checked Saha before you went into Desert. Oro had not, unfortunately.
Yeah, but... so I was actually heading to Desert, and then I realized, I only have one bomb. And I don't have any magic. There's no way I'm going to be killing Landmo right now. So I just kind of called an audible on the fly there. I was like, I'll just check the ledge. We'll do Agina's Cave. We'll go buy bombs and check Saha and see if we can find a hammer or something to get a magic refill before heading back over there. And glad I did. Finding boots is always fun. Not quite as fun in Swordless because you can't dash through everything, but they're still a good find.
But with that, since we see the collection rate of 158 on your end, and I believe Oro cut, you got anything to say for the rest of the league for now?
I guess I'll say sorry to Leo and Jesse. They don't get to play Retrants. But yeah,
I think you should apologize to everyone for not getting to see Retrants.
We haven't been able to see one yet, except for I think Invitational just had one.
I think
there
was one in Invitational, I think.
Yeah. But other than that, that's the only one that I've heard of so far. But either way, GG's to you guys, Kaesden. GG's to Zelda and Chill. Unfortunately, Zelda and Chill are knocked out of playoffs for League, but JKLOL is going to move on. Hopefully we'll see Zelda and Chill, or at least their team members, in some sort of correlation together again next year. And with that, y'all, GG's. We're out. Have a good night.